Hey guys, John Gray here, and today I want to talk about making yourself an asset. And the reason I'm choosing to talk about this today is because I hear a lot of people talk about their debt and how they can't pay it off because they just don't make enough money. And I want to point out that I think that there's a lot of room for growth in whatever field that you may be in. And I want to use myself as an example. So my job that I currently have now with the company that I have, I think I've been in it roughly in this role for about 6 or 7 months. I've been with the company for a little under 3 years, and I've been promoted twice in that time. So during that first year and a half, the job that I had was purely administrative. So I, scheduled meetings, I updated systems, kept records, things like that. And that's something that's pretty entry level that a lot of people can do at pretty much any company. It translates well, obviously, but I didn't know anything about the company that I was working for, and really the industry itself. I knew that I needed to learn more if I ever had any hope of moving up. So in that first year and a half, I came early, I stayed late, I took a lot of time to learn about what the pain points were on my team, especially with the clients that we worked with. And I spent a lot of time trying to implement solutions so that I could really, one, learn about the way things work, and also, have other people view me as someone that they could come to solve problems. Because something that I'm good at, I feel like, is coming up with solutions for things that are problems for whoever's involved. So I spent a lot of time doing that, and I got promoted a couple of times, and now I'm in sort of a data analysis role. But I want to point out to people that I think that a lot of people just see that my role now and they think, oh, of course, you can pay off all this debt because you make a lot of money at this company. You're fortunate enough to do that. My role in the company that am in now has nothing to do with fortune or luck. I worked my butt off to get to where I am now, and I'm still working considerably hard, every day to learn more about what I can do better. So it's a constant learning experience, and I think that the people who are saying things like, "Well, you have this job, so of course you can do it," I think you need to ask yourself, are you doing absolutely everything you can to be an asset in whatever job that you have right now? I don't care if you flip burgers at McDonald's or I don't know, have a snow shoveling business, whatever it is that you do. Are you doing absolutely everything you can to be the best asset that you can in your current position? And if the answer is not yes, and I mean like you've worked past when you've been asked to, you've done work without being prompted, you've been doing things proactively. If you can't answer yes to all those questions, then I think that you need to reevaluate. It's not fair for you to complain, because you can't expect a company. You have to think about it from an ownership perspective, because I know a lot of you probably want to own businesses one day. If you're a company, why would you invest money into people who have not shown themselves to care about your business? And that's how companies look at it. Why would they invest the time and effort into you if they're not sure that you want to be a part of what they're building? It takes a lot more than just doing what it takes to get by. You can't just do the job that you've been given and just throw your hands up and say, well, I think I should make more money because I've been here for X amount of years, or I know X amount of things. It's a lot more than that. And especially in the marketplace today, with the amount of people who are working now, think about the fact that the baby boomers are still working in a lot of cases, or they're coming back to work. There's even more people in the marketplace now. So you have to work even that much harder to set yourself apart from all the other faces that are there. It's not as simple as just doing your job and then moving up, for the next 20 years if you just stay with the company. You have to differentiate yourself. And the way to do that is to really make people see your value. And I want to make it very clear that this has nothing to do with, education or, the length of time you've been with the company. This has to do with hard work. I've been with my current company for just under 3 years, and I don't have a college degree. Remember that. I just worked. I worked really hard. And of course, yes, I was in a position where I'm with a company where, they value that. So consider yourself if you're in a position where you say you've been working there for 5 years and you've done everything right, you feel like you can answer yes to all the things that I just said, and you still aren't getting any traction, maybe it's time to look at other opportunities. That could be the case, but I think for the majority of people, that's not what's happening. I think that a lot of us get frustrated and we slow down in our roles because we don't see ourselves, on that trajectory that we wanted. And I think that instead of getting discouraged, we have to make the path instead of asking other people to set us on that path. So I'll give you another example, just so that you know this isn't really an isolated thing. A friend of mine, a close friend of mine, he was working in a position for a couple of years, a couple of different roles, and he wasn't making a lot of money. He was fresh out of college, needed experience, and he decided to continue with those roles. He scraped by, did what he had to do, and in the last year, his salary has doubled. It's no surprise to me though that happened because he worked his butt off. It's very clear that he was worth the money that he was asking for when he went into a new job because he had worked for it. He made himself an asset not only to his team but to the owners of the company, to a point where, if he were to not be there, it would be a detriment. That's what you need to ask yourself. If you can be easily replaced, are you really an asset? If the answer is yes, you can be, someone can pluck you out of a line and put somebody else there, you're not really the asset that you think you are. And you might not be worth what you think you're at, what you think you should be paid. So just consider that. I think the next time you say like, I don't make enough money, or, this is just not possible, or, wages aren't fair. That's another one that I hear a lot. My opinion on that has changed drastically in recent years. Because I've seen what it's like to make no money in a job that I didn't like in previous companies, and it's not fun. But I think we all have to realize that if we're expecting the level of salary that's going to not only make us stable financially but make us wealthy, the amount of work that you need to put in needs to be equal to the trajectory that you're asking a company to set you on. If you're asking for your salary to skyrocket, then your work needs to be at least on that trajectory at the very minimum. So just think about what it is that you can do better at your current role. I'm sure there's something, everyone has it, myself included. What can you do better to make yourself an asset? Remember, the goal should be not necessarily to come into a company and make a lot of money. The goal should be to add as much value as you can. Once that happens, the salary will come. How can you add value? Making money is a result of adding value. So what can you do better to add value? But that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for listening. Remember to like the video if you did like it. Leave me a comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.